ability to take visual light and non-visual light and convert it into energy is a lesser known sort of field with most people. In a quantum biological perspective, it's everything. So if you look at your energy production, most people think that it's got to do with food. It's not. It's not the case. 66% of your entire system's energy production, hormones, endocrine system, chemistry, physiology is run by light, be it visual, i.e. that which you can see through the eyes, or what is perceptible by the human eye, or non-linear or non-visual light, which deals with the rest of the body. So light is a massive component in terms of taking what input you have and utilizing it from a mineral perspective, a nutrition perspective, and turning it into energy. So it's an activator, it's a catalyst for everything over and above what food does. And food, all that food really does is it donates photons, i.e. captured sunlight, and electrons. And depending on the type of quality of food you put into your body, depends on the quality or the amount of electrons and photons you put into the body.
So what we're saying is that electrons versus protons, we gain electrons, which
photons,
is
yeah, photons.
Yes, from a quantum biological perspective, we gain that for our mitochondria from sunlight, grounding, and food. And food can be quite a small percentage compared to what we think it is, because we gain energy from the sun and grounding. The mitochondria can actually create its own light. We actually broadcast light on a mitochondrial level that can be tested,
Yes.
which per size is far greater than a star.
Yes. So if you understand how bacterium work, and if you understand that the mitochondria is actually a bacterium that is a symbiotic relationship with the human cell. So what bacteria do is they generally operate on a light spectrum. So they'll emit light, absorb light, and renovate light. Apart from other functions, obviously. The key component in our energy system is the mitochondria, because the mitochondria have cytochrome 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 cytochrome C oxidase at the ATP cycle, where it liberates electrons for high energy process in the body, are driven by red light chromophoric sensors, which are basically like non-ocular eyes. So in other words, every single cell in your body has a non-visual eye. So that ties back to when I talk about we light beings. One needs to understand that light, or the ability of the mitochondria to renovate, adjust, accept, absorb, and use light, is why we're called light beings, or hue-man. And every single endocrinology process in the body, every electrical, every hydraulic, every neurologic process in the body is driven by light. So food can be a toxin or a benefit, depending on whether you're putting the right amount of electrons in. So if you look at the photosynthetic web that we live in, all food, irrespective whether it's a plant matter or whether it's animal proteins and fats, has to do with capturing sunlight. So animal proteins and fats tend to capture more sunlight or more electrons than, for instance, plant matter. And that substrate through the gut, and in the gut also bacterium, do that process. So you don't absorb the food, the bacteria absorb that food. And what they're actually doing is they're decoding light codes. And when they decode those light codes, they can then renovate some kind of a metabolite that they give you in order to feed the mitochondria on a nutritional level, be it amino acids, fatty acids, and a mineral balance, in order to build the hydraulic structure in the body, which communicates everything in a water substrate. So all of that cannot exist without light.
I think that's very interesting, and very few of us actually know that. I think we're fighting against a system that basically broadcasts a message that all natural light, all sunlight is bad. Protect your eyes from it, protect your skin from it, because it is going to harm you. And speaking about the many processes in the body that cannot occur without sunlight, we were designed to be addicted to the sun. We were designed to be out in nature, on the ground, in sunlight, getting it through our eyes and on as much skin as possible.
Well, one of the key components in terms of light is that if the correct light is present, the hemoglobin are allowed to, in that presence, accept oxygen and transport it to the mitochondria where cellular respiration takes place. So if you remove natural light, i.e. sunlight, from that equation, everything dies, or all humans will die. So if you look at the proliferation of technology, all the blue light millimeter waves, all the disruptive non-native EMF frequencies that we're exposed to via technology, LED lights, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all of them run like microwaves. And what these things do is they disrupt the iron component in the body and the oxygen component. So they totally change the chemistry of that process. So when you breathe in oxygen, you take that to the mitochondria, charge separates it into water or deuterium depleted water, and that then enables the ATP process, which enables other processes on a quaternary level that cause life. If you remove light, natural light, you've got a problem. But if you introduce the incorrect light, you've got a bigger problem, because technically what we're doing with technology is we're creating an extinction event for ourselves, because one singular blue light spectrum cannot fulfill what the human body runs on. And that's where you get really a massive increase in chronic illnesses that the medical field at the moment cannot cope with. There's absolutely no solutions to what people are presenting.
And to realize that those are two sides of the same coin, I suppose. We need sunlight, we need to protect ourselves from blue light. The benefits of sun is the other side of the spectrum of the harm that the technological light exposure does. And unfortunately, it's becoming harder and harder to move away from the overexposure of the light we're getting in through technology. So those waves that we get in through blue light, which will include LEDs, a smartwatch, Bluetooth earphones, of course Wi-Fi routers, and the whole spectrum of electromagnetic radiation,
5G,
particularly 5G as it advances, cause symptoms that are unexplainable otherwise. And to keep in mind that when the symptom pops up in the body, it is not because of an internal defect. It is not because you are in lack of medication or insufficient in medication. There are toxins that we're exposed to, often with a specific purpose, that will cause certain things that cannot be resolved except by getting sunlight, grounding, minerals, the right food, and protecting ourselves from blue light. So considering, for example, some of the aspects of mood and neurotransmitters, we all know people or are ourselves very often seemingly requiring mood enhancing or anxiety reducing drugs. Now, something else that's interesting is that these neurotransmitters can be supported by amino acids like tryptophan, tyrosine, phenylalanine, but all of those processes require sunlight. So One of the major benefits of getting sunlight is a major mood enhancement and neurological benefit. So it's been called neurological de-evolution
Yes.
to not get sunlight or to block our eyes from the light and to be in a majority of a blue light zone majority of the time.
100%. The best solution for anybody with depression, anxiety, or a mood issue or a neurological mood disorder is to get them in the sun. It's not just about vitamin D. It's not just about a tan. It's about renovating the melanin in your body to stimulate and use photons to generate all the chemicals required for well-being. So if you hide away from the sun, indoors under artificial light, not grounded, you're going to experience these episodes of mood disorder because blue light can't do that for you. What blue light does is quite the opposite. It actually breaks that cycle. It breaks the energy cycle of the mitochondria. It breaks the formation of hormones. It breaks the formation of the entire endocrine system. And along with that goes the digestive tract, the neurology, the brain state, body function, and it becomes, unfortunately, in the system at the moment, none of these things are making any sense to the mainstream medical environment because they don't understand that you need to be close to nature, and that it's not a tree hugging kind of bunny hugger kind of scenario. It's about
What? I love hugging trees.
But it's, yeah, well, I do too, but
that's not the picture.
The key in terms of being, when people talk about getting close to being in nature or being close to nature, it's part of our design. So the fact that I'm wearing clothing indoors, obviously we've got an infrared lamp here, but that's great. But if you're not getting the natural light and the grounding, you cannot produce the neuro protection, you can't produce the gut biome, you can't produce all the chemicals and the physiology and the mechanicals that make you operate. So if you look at an animal in the wild, so we slather on sunblock and put sunglasses on and wear caps and wear shoes and clothing. I've never seen an animal wear sunblock and glasses and wear shoes. And we told that, oh no, if you expose yourself to the sun, you're going to get melanoma or some kind of skin cancer.
Can we just touch on that? What is the real reason for melanoma?
Well, melanoma is when you're not getting enough sunlight, the melanin structure in your body starts coming to the surface. So you can be sitting in a home 24/7 locked up with blue light and LEDs and all this stuff. You will develop melanoma because if you don't get the sunlight, the melanin in the body is going to come to the surface and look for sunlight. And that is what melanoma is. It's not caused by the sun, it's caused by a lack of sun.
So one of the supporting factors is that everyone with melanoma tests low in vitamin D.
Yes, that's correct.
And if it was from too much sunlight, you would test high in vitamin D. Maybe a quick referral at this point that you cannot make up for lack of sunlight by taking vitamin D supplement.
No, vitamin D is a manufactured product that the body cannot really utilize, and it's unfortunately a component that they use in rat poison. So I'm not saying that's the whole story, but the bottom line is you cannot replicate sunlight in a capsule. You can't capture sunlight like